Let's see now how the app works. We can go to find ML AI engineer, job description at Nebius, copy it, would expect, stand from the crowd. Okay, just copy this, ignore what we offer. I guess we don't need that. Start interview. We see the streaming works, which is fine, which is what we asked for. Hello, my name is Rachel Lee. I'm hiring manager. What sparked you interested in machine learning and AI? What drives your passion for working in this field? Let's just type the word next for all answers, just to test some technical expertise. Next, now we see generating, which I assume it is generating the final assessment of the interview. Okay, interview feedback, overall assessment, or lack of responses. So obviously we don't have any like good feedback here because we just typed next for each question. We also can see that here markdown is not rendered properly. So we see that this is markdown formatting, but it's not rendered. It's just, this symbol here, and all of this should be like headers. So we can ask in a follow-up to implement this. Let's now switch to our code base and review the code a bit more deeply. So in this case, I prefer to switch to editor mode because now I can see all the modified files here. And we see that the agent created this API file. It modified this page.tsx. It created api.ts file, and also package files were automatically modified when it installed the library. So we are interested in the API. We can see that there is a separate API for question and a separate API for feedback. If you look at the code here, you'll see that there is some system prompt, which is like a important instruction for the model, that the model is an expert interviewer, that it should generate questions, behavioral technical questions, etc. And there is next message, which includes job description. Please generate appropriate interview question. And then it includes conversation history if it's there. So what I don't like about it, and what I don't like about the website in general, that it doesn't feel like a conversation. It feels like just as a set of questions. So because of that, I want to ask the agent to rebuild it a bit. So I want it to look like a chat where the interviewer starts the conversation. The job description is included into system prompt, and basically it works not just in the UI as a conversation, but technically in this API, it is also a conversation. So let's ask agent to do that. Switch back to agent tab. I think in this case, we can continue with the current conversation. I want the conversation to feel like chat, so it should be a chat window. All messages should be sent as messages to the model. First message is let's start the interview. I mentioned this because usually when you call API with an LLM, first you have system message, system instruction, we have it. And the second message should be user message. In our case, we want kind of an interviewer to start the conversation. But because of this limitation, we can just send as the first question, let's start the interview. And then will be the message of the interviewer, which will be generated. Third, include job description into system prompt. In system prompt, mention 5 questions, and that at the end, it needs to provide assessment. So we just need one API route, which will handle all the conversation. Let's switch back to plan mode because it's quite a complicated task, and let's let it come up with the plan. The plan is ready. Refactor interview prep service chat-based interface where the entire interview happens as a conversation. Architecture, one chat API route, chat-based UI, implementation steps, system prompt design, job description, instructions, exactly 5 questions. Initial user, let's start the interview. AI first question, user answer. AI second question, user answer. So I think this actually quite clear explanation of what I want. Chat UI styling, files to modify, create, notes. Let's build it. Cool. The implementation is ready. We can review it again and we can check the service itself. So we have this job description window. Let's use the same job description, start interview. And you see that now it looks like a chat. Let's start the interview. I'm excited to learn more about background experience. Question. Next question. Click send. Next question. So you see now it looks more like a chat, and I think this is more like a real interview, but just in a text format. And finally, I've already asked the 5 questions as per instructions. Strengths simulated. I didn't receive any response. Ideal candidate strength would be these. Areas for improvement. No errors since I answered next question for all the questions. Okay, so still no markdown rendering. We haven't asked for this, obviously. We'll do this later. So I hope now it is clear how you can use different modes in Cursor and switch between them even in the middle of the conversation. Start with planning, then build something, then you can switch to ask and ask clarification question like how do I install this or how do I run the project or whatever, then switch back to planning, then switch back to agent again to continue building.